thoughts on trying to defend it? It's not often you can see a guy that's a first-team All-American and draft eligible and he comes back. Just your thoughts on that.
Oh, he's a great football player. Back in my early days at Northern Illinois, we started having to defend the spread, and there's a couple of different things to do with players. And Urban Meyer was coaching Bowling Green back then, and they had a real good quarterback. And we caught ourselves in quite a discussion on how to defend the quarterback and whether or not we could put a defensive end on him. And week to week, we'd have to make that decision. I can't tell you how many times I've watched Vic do two roles. He could play the quarterback and still get to the pitch, and he's a hell of a football player. And he'll make a lot of money someday. And just proud to say he's part of our conference. He plays hard, physical football, and he's got some great gifts, a great God-gifted ability. And not excited to have to play him again.
Coach, this side to the right.
Coach, Dan Tortora, Broadcast Media. First and foremost, with this season coming up, what you've taken away the most from the spring, and what you've seen from the guys in the competition, because you have some returning starters, but you also have positions that are open for opportunity, which you like to give the guys.
That's right. I think spring was good. We got a little bit banged up front, especially with the offensive line. A couple serious injuries, but most of them are, everybody's back and ready to roll. Been pleased with the development of our passing game. What we did was Coach McDonald took over the wide receivers. He's also our coordinator, as you know. And George has done a nice job. I think those wide receivers are competing at a high level. Was impressed with competition from West and Fleming and Ashton Boyle. Thunderbird did a good job. But was equally impressed with Terrell's ability to throw, Hunt's ability to throw to open spots rather than open men, and to anticipate making those throws quicker, an area that we challenged him to make improvement. And I thought Tim Lester did a nice job bringing him around. On the defensive side of things, excited to see this group. We're going to miss Jason Brownlee in the middle. He's a great defensive tackle for us. The Giants thought so too, and I think he's got a great career up there. When you move out to the edge, I think we have some good defensive ends. Ron Thompson really did a nice job. He's a nice addition, obviously with Robbie Welsh on one side, and Ron Thompson backing him up with the ability to bounce to either side. Gives us, some good football players. Michael Robinson had a nice year. So excited. Spring went well. We're going to have to up that ante, though, because we've got a hell of a football conference.
Right here to our left.
Hey, Scott. Sorry, Mark Larson, Taiwan Cable News, Syracuse. How are you? Saw you talking to Coach Sweeney for Clemson, and just was curious, had you guys talked since last year's game? Obviously,
we talk all the time. Yeah. Dabo's a great football coach, and got a lot of respect for him. Obviously, somebody asked me what the biggest difference was going from year one to year two, and your biggest lessons you learned, or what was the most difficult thing I had to overcome. And to be honest with you, was for years I was in the press box. For 23 years I was in the press box. So when something went wrong, I could duck and hide and throw a chair and get away with it. And now I'm a head coach, and everything's right out there. So I've always been a sore loser, and I hate to lose, can't stand it. And I've learned my lesson well. I need to control those emotions in those situations, and chew some gum, and bite down on the gum, and make better decisions. But Dabo's the best. I'm so proud of what he and Jimbo's done for this conference this past year. They're carrying the flag of the conference right now, and hopefully we can get in their way one of these seasons, one of these games. So I'm looking forward to going head-to-head with those guys. And, like I started mentioning, we have such a great conference. And for me, extremely humbling to be part of it. But we're looking forward to kicking off this season on the 29th against Villanova and trying to get some warm-up games in before we get into conference play.
Camera stand in the back.
Robert Craig, Clemson Insider. Follow-up to that question. What kind of reception did you expect this year in Death Valley after the incident last year?
Reception to Death Valley, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people extremely happy to invite us in there, and I'm excited about it. This is what college football is all about. I'm as excited as the kids to go see what Death Valley is all about. We know it's going to be a great challenge, and it's what we all signed up for. It's what you look forward to as a coach. I was telling a story the other day. When you're a little kid dreaming about making the big play in the backyard, you're always trying to do it against the best of the best. Whether you're shooting baskets and imagine yourself playing against the best basketball player in the world or the best team, same thing. So for us to get a chance to go down there to Death Valley and be a part of that environment, it's going to be extremely exciting for us, and we're looking forward to that challenge and big football team.
Coach to your left.
Coach Matt Boston from Pitt, annual crossover game against Pitt. Just a little bit about that rivalry, what that means to both programs.
Yeah, we played each other for so many years in the Big East, and we've had some great contests. Last year, obviously we came up short by a point there, ran out of time there at the end, and it's a great rivalry. It's an old Northeast rivalry. It's a part of the ACC conference that I think ourselves, Pitt, as well as Boston College, take a lot of pride in, trying to add a little bit of that flavor, to the conference, some of that Northeast flavor to the ACC football conference. And, to me, I think it's a situation where, we go back and forth. It's always towards the end of the year, so, we'll be playing outside in Pittsburgh, and that's a great environment. Being from Cleveland, Ohio, and watching the Browns go against the Steelers all those years, and now having Shamarko, a young man, recruited and played for us, playing for the Steelers, just going back to Pittsburgh and taking Sean Hickey, who's from out that way. It's great. It's a great rivalry. It's a natural rivalry. It's a situation where we go head-to-head in recruiting a lot with those guys, and it's healthy. It's what college football is all about.
Coach right here in the front.
Coach Gary Hahn with Wolfpack Sports Network, Raleigh, North Carolina. Just wondering how much more explosive do you think that the Syracuse passing game can be, and is that one of your offensive priorities heading into preseason?
Sure. We've worked a lot on it. Obviously, we weren't very proficient in the passing game. We got better towards the end of the season. I was happy with the way we finished the season. I thought, both Terrell and wide receivers did a nice job finishing up with the victory over Minnesota in the Texas Bowl. But we need to take to the next level, to get to the next level. And we're always going to really work hard to run that football. I believe in running the ball. I believe in stopping the run. I think that's where it starts with our philosophy. But this day and age, you've got to be able to open it up. We put the onus on our passing game, our wide receivers to take their game up. And I'm excited about some of the kids that we recruited. I think we'll have great competition at the wide receiver position. Anytime you look behind yourself and you say, that guy can take my job from me, it's the best way to motivate that guy that's playing. And that's the approach we've taken. And looking forward to it. We've got to get better, that's for sure.
Coach right here, man.
Coach, again from Syracuse, want to know your thoughts on Louisville adding the Cardinals not only to the conference but your division.
Sure.
Do you have any relationship with Coach Petrino?
Yeah, I really don't know Coach Petrino that well. Got to know him a little bit here, in the last few months with the different activities that we do with the coaching staffs, the head coaches getting together. I know he's a great offensive mind. I used to enjoy watching him coach that team years ago. And it'll be nice to have Louisville in the conference. Obviously they were a team that was a rivalry of ours back in the Big East. We had some great contests against those guys, and both down at their place and in the Carrier Dome, and Teddy Bridgewater coming up, and so I think it's healthy for the conference. It's something I think both sides will find that Louisville's going to be a great competitive outfit, and we're looking forward to that challenge.
Coach right side.
Hey, Coach. Jim Connors from Time Warner Cable News. New Jersey's been identified as a territory that you want to bump up the recruiting, and you happen to have Notre Dame on the schedule at East Rutherford. That seems to work out pretty well for you.
Yes, it does. It's a good statement. And I agree with you. We're looking forward to getting back into New Jersey. Back in the heyday of Syracuse, it used to be Penn State and Syracuse recruiting in that area. I think Coach Shiano did a great job. He kind of built a wall around New Jersey, did a nice job. But I do think that there's opportunities there, and we're excited. We've had good success, in the second half of this year recruiting out in that area, and gotten a lot of kids up to campus. And looking forward to that. And I think playing in the Meadowlands against Notre Dame will be, an added benefit to our recruiting push for that part of the country.
Left side here, Coach.
Coach Rob Holliday from Raleigh. I don't know that 10 or 15 years ago people were really praising the ACC's offensive line play, but it seems to have gotten a lot better. Florida State has set a standard. You and Boston College and Pittsburgh obviously have running big physical offensive lines. As an old offensive line guy, how good are the offensive lines in this league right now? Something like 50 of the top 70 linemen coming back.
Yeah, I think it's a very, someone asked me the difference between the ACC and the Big East after my first year.